Hey kindergarten, today off the supply table you need one piece of canvas or burlap. You also need one big chunk of clay. And at your table I also have some of these texture making tools, but these are all ready to be at the table for you. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that clay, maybe kind of make a little bit of a ball, doesn't have to be perfect, right? And I'm going to squish that down onto my table as hard as I can. This still isn't very spread out though. Look at how thick that clay is. We don't want it like that. So you might have to really stand up and really squish it down. And when I squish it, I'm using this part of my hand. All right? Not this part. I'm using the bottom part. That's a nice spot to squish it down. And I don't want it to be as thin as a sheet of paper. I want it to be kind of a little bit thicker, almost like a pancake. So you get something that looks like this, all right? You can see how wide it is compared to my finger, about as thick as my finger. All right, so I've got it nice and spread out. You will probably need help with this, so please raise your hand and let me know before you move on to this next step, and I'll come around and make sure that it's spread out enough. After you're this far, you're going to use some of those texture making tools at your table to add to this piece of clay. So there are some cookie cutters. You need to be extra careful with the cookie cutters because you don't want to press this down all the way. So if I press it down as hard as I can, it's going to end up cutting out a chunk of clay like this. And then you're going to be missing a big chunk of clay out of your bowl. So when you use some of these things, you want to press it down, but be kind of gentle, just so it leaves some marks. So maybe I want to print this. I could flip it over, print the other side, like that. I could use some of these numbers and print those. I could use these little squares. They can print either side of these, have these little diamond shapes. You could print those like that. Some of the tables have these circle things. You can print this side. You could print this side. You could try rolling it. I'm going to try rolling it like that. Maybe I'll press one down like this. You can see all these different textures that I am making. I'm almost finished. My biggest thing is that you need to remember to be extra gentle when you're using the cookie cutters because we don't want to cut that clay. All right, when you're this far, you've got a bunch of awesome textures added to your clay. You are going to carefully pick it up, bring it back to me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a bowl, kind of like this. I'm going to mold it around that bowl a little bit. So when this dries, it's going to be kind of shaped like a bowl. I'm also going to put your name on the back. Mr. C. All right. So starting off with your chunk of clay, you're going to squish it until it's about as thick as a pancake. Then you're going to raise your hand, and if I give you the A-OK, you're going to use those texture tools to make some marks in your clay. Last but not least, you're going to bring your clay back to me, and I will make sure to put it on a bowl for you. When you're done, please put your canvas away.